3, 2, 1. No more Google eyes. That was a quote from now 7 Oscar-winning film and Best Picture-winning film, Everything Everywhere All at Once.
Yes.
We did it. I'm Adam from Your Movie Sucks. This is Sardonicast.
I am Ralph Seppi.
Oh, that's a new one. That's a fresh one. I'm Alex from IHE.
This was my radio voice.
It sounded like a Kiwi accent. That's what I thought you were going.
This is my radio voice.
Your podcast voice is coming out.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm Ralph Seppi.
Oh, okay. I hear it now.
Welcome to the latest episode.
I do this now. It's my voice now.
Oh.
I like it. Mixing things up. This is exciting.
Yeah. Hello.
Hi.
Welcome to the show. The Oscars happened. Can we just transition into it?
The Oscars did, in fact, happen.
Yeah, they happened. They were fine this year, actually. Like, things pretty much went off without a hitch. No slap moment.
Will Smith was not invited, so we were safe. I was worried he might show up.
How was Jimmy Kimmel? That's the question of the day.
He was annoying. He was very annoying. He made the show longer than...
Jimmy Kimmel annoying?
He's always annoying.
For real?
Yeah. Very annoying. He made the show go on way longer than it should have. It took like fucking 15 minutes to get to the first award. He just went on and on forever about nothing.
That's Jimmy's talent though, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a very talented man who definitely should be hosting the Oscars.
Speaking of talent, there were some interesting wins. I haven't seen that All Quiet on the Western Front. That was a huge winner last night. Like, all those movies that like got picked, I didn't expect that to win as much as it did, honestly.
Yeah, it is a random one, it seems.
Yeah, there's no good reason why it should have been nominated for anything but...
Because
like,
it's foreign?
I don't know, cinematography and international.
It's not like it wasn't like a packed year already. Like, there's plenty of like good choices outside of that. So.
Right. That's what was so weird about
that
it.
in particular. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's like fine. It's just so fine. But...
That was kind of an upset. And like Jamie Lee Curtis winning, for Everything All at Once.
The legacy win.
Is like, that was such a weird win. Yeah, that's like a legacy win. And like, the Academy's famous for those. Like, that's a good thing to bring up, Adam. Like, I think of like The Departed and Scorsese. I love The Departed actually, but like, I felt like Scorsese should have won earlier for that. And they just give it to like, a director or star because they've had a great career, not because of like the movie necessarily, like the great.
Yeah, which is funny because they already have honorary Oscars for those things.
Yeah, she's great in the movie, but like top, like you were saying, Alex, like top 5 of the year. That's like a little bit of a stretch, let alone the best. I mean, maybe I can't do it right this second, but I can name like 5 movies that are probably like have a better supporting
100%,
lead, including Everything All at Once. I thought, the daughter there, I thought she was better in the movie and like probably in it more, and she didn't get shit. I mean, she got to sing. That was cool. I didn't realize that she
got
was
nominated for supporting, but
yeah, exactly. I felt she should have won over Jamie Lee Curtis there. But
Jamie, yeah, I'm with you on that.
Yeah.
What happens with the Oscars is they have these Best Picture nominees, and then they just sprinkle those throughout all the other categories. Mm. So, whereas realistically, you could give, I don't know, cinematography, you could give a nomination to like The Northman, right? But they're not going to nominate The Northman for anything. They're just going to do cinematography from the existing nominees, or, they're just going to pack all of the acting awards from the existing nominees, They just, it's usually what they do. They just, they don't credit a lot of movies in the year. They kind of just forget.
Yeah, most of it's stuff at like the tail end of the year.
Yeah, like
that they campaign for. Like,
Decision to Leave could have gotten cinematography or editing or directing noms, but
yeah, all those foreign movies, I didn't see any of those. They could have put Decision to Leave in that category. That was we're kind of like all over the place. We're like talking about so many different categories. But yeah, for that one, they definitely could have.
Let's why don't we just go through the categories in order?
Yeah, I've got the list up. Do you want me to?
Take this away. You're good with the lists.
It.
So yeah, I got the I got the Oscar list up right here, the official one on the website, starting with actor in a leading role here, winner Brendan Fraser for The Whale, which I hadn't seen when the list was first revealed and our kind of reactions. But I feel like this was very much deserved. I thought it was quite a standout performance.
Pick. Yeah, I like that. He was great at it.
I thought it might have gone to Austin Butler, but I was happy that Brendan got it.
That was my, like more cynical pick. Austin Butler will, he's got a long career ahead of him, so.
Not if he can't talk anymore.
Not if he talks like Elvis.
He talks like how I did in the opening.
Hey, oh baby, you can't stop it.
What is the truth of that story? What was it? Because he did the Elvis voice, he can't talk anymore. Is that what that is?
Truth is, he's an idiot.
It really just seems like an Oscars campaign.
Yeah, that's how it comes across.
It really just seems like he was making a story for the Oscars. Sure, there's probably some truth to it, but I think it's being exaggerated. It really just seemed like one of those Oscars stories.
Brendan Fraser, that was a good win. I was happy for him. That was deserved. K.U. Kwan, that was a great win. I loved his speech.
That as well.
Those were wonderful wins. Yeah.
That's the only clip. I didn't actually watch it. I've only looked through the list and seen.
Yeah.
But that was one of the clips I liked.
I actually watched it this year, which is rare.
No, that was the next award anyway, was Ki-Hu Kwan for Everything Everywhere. Supporting role actor. Yeah, really sweet acceptance speech. That's like the one thing I've seen from it.
Super sweet.
Yeah, he seems like a genuine person. I like him.
Yeah. That was awesome. Him and Brendan Fraser were like the underdogs, and they both got the award. That was so cool. And I'm not like a big give it to them for the statement. Like I never really do that, but that was nice. Just for those two specifically.
And it's but it feels like with both these guys, like the statement thing aside, like it's still worthy of the performances they gave and the projects they were in. So
that's why a lot of people avoid the Oscars and these like award shows, because it usually is like about the statement more so than like the awards.
Yeah,
and
the circle jerk,
which is I'm not even opposed to that, but there's like other great movies. Like I think that Daniel's even said like everyone's great. Like every one of those movies that was nominated was really good. Like Top Gun, I thought that had a solid chance of winning. Like that was like super impressive, and it didn't get much except for sound, which is a big deal. But yeah, that was great movie. So,
well, actress in a leading role, another Everything Everywhere win with Michelle Yeoh.
Yeah,
again, not much more to add. Just congrats.
I thought Cate Blanchett deserved it. But...
I really thought she was going to get that.
Yeah, I think I probably agree with you as far as just pure like performance per square inch.
If we're rating the performance, I would say
just impressive.
She deserved it.
Yeah,
like sure, she's won other Oscars before. If we're talking about like who deserves the person deserving having an award or something, then like I don't know. Like I feel like that's kind of what goes into play in terms of how they factor these things.
That's definitely part of it.
Yeah. I wish I've got some autistic traits, and I really wish that it was more like clinical. I really wish it was just like, no, you're grading the performance. What's the point if you're not doing it that way?
Yeah. That's just the constantly annoying thing about the Oscars, just the lack of consistency of what they're even voting on. But
as we'll see with some other categories.
Actress in a supporting role then was another Everything Everywhere. Yeah, this is what Ralph already said with Jamie Lee Curtis win here. Definitely probably the strangest award to me.
It was weird.
Yeah,
having seen The Whale now, Hong Chow was really good. I mean, even Angela Bassett maybe.
Angela Bassett was great.
I love Wakanda
I thought she
Forever,
had it.
but she was fantastic in that movie.
Yeah, she was fucking awesome.
To be honest, anyone. I would probably give it to anyone over Jamie Lee personally if we're talking about these specific movies and this list. But yeah, as you said, it is kind of a legacy thing probably going on here.
Yeah, legacy Oscar.
Anyone surprised by the animated feature win?
Not surprised.
Not really.
Pinocchio win.
Yeah, I wasn't super shocked.
Surprising about
Puss
that.
in Boots is better. Fucking Marcel the Shell was better, in my opinion, also. But the music dragged it down.
Yeah, nothing too much to add.
Get rid of the songs. You got a better movie.
In Guillermo.
Yeah.
In Pinocchio. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I could agree with you. Yeah. Cinematography then. All Quiet on the Western Front. It's kind of I watched it back in December, this movie, and that's kind of really the only thing I remember about it.
I mean, yeah.
It's just kind of the atmosphere and how it looked.
Aesthetically pleasing shots, for sure.
I don't really remember anything beyond it.
A lot of the technical stuff at one.
Yeah. I would say Tar and Bardo had better cinematography, but...
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm. Which I haven't seen Bardo yet, but Tar.
Yeah, I definitely preferred Tar for cinematography anyway.
Like, Tar got nothing. And so did
no, yeah,
fucking like a lot of good stuff. Like
Tar got nothing. Banshees of Inisherin got nothing.
Banshees, right? That got nothing.
And Elvis got nothing, so it's worth it.
I'm glad Elvis
got nothing. People are like they don't just hate Elvis; they're like happy.
I'm happy to see it fail.
Yeah, people are happy when it's. I just don't understand the wanting to see it fail.
It's weird that it was nominated for like fucking 6+ Oscars in the first place.
I'm not shocked by that
Oscars.
at all, because it's they love movies like that.
I know.
They love
that's why it's kind of
biopics.
The whole biopic thing.
Yeah, anything that's like, oh, that was a thing that happened. They made a movie of it.
Like
I remember that. I remember Elvis from when I was
the Fablemans got
10 or whatever. Yeah, because it's all old people going to see that. Oh, Fablemans. Yeah, like that was another upset in terms of it winning anything. But I like that movie. I didn't feel that was bad. Woman Talking, that was a,
screenplay.
A winner. I didn't expect so. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I didn't want to like spoil it. The second I said it, I'm like, oh, let me not rush it. Okay, you can go back to it, Alex.
Costume design then is the next one. Black Panther, Wakanda Forever, taking that one.
Yeah, that was good.
Okay, I guess if you're going to give it anything,
yeah,
sure. The costumes were interesting in that movie.
Yeah, I think the same person won for the first Black Panther also.
Okay.
Yeah, she looked familiar, like when she went up there. I'm like, oh, I've seen her before.
Yeah, no strong feelings about costume design.
Yeah, and directing's a bit more interesting with the Daniels winning for Everything Everywhere. It actually happened. They got it.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. They did it.
Yeah, that was awesome.
Because, that is a strong list of contenders there.
They're funny boys.
So glad they managed to cinch it.
They were up there a lot.
Yeah.
Last night. It's funny, the first time they went up, they seemed kind of like, not like cocky is the word, but very like confident. They were smiling. The second time they went up, they seemed like legit like shocked and like they were starting to get like kind of nervous, because they were just going up there so much. They were like, holy shit, it's like really happening. I'm very happy for them. They went to Emerson and I went to Emerson, so that's like a big deal for my school. We're all like, snapping our fingers. Woohoo. That's what Emerson students do.
Clap.
Snap our fingers. Yeah. Yeah, that's what the other schools do. But we're like our own little thing. We do the finger snaps. We're like our own clique. We're like Mean Girls. We do our own thing. Yeah. So yeah, good for them. That's a really great win. Both of them. The screenplay one too, which I'm sure you'll get to.
Next up's documentary feature film, one by Navalny.
Fucking bullshit. So stupid. It's like, it's so boring. That was one where it was clear that the Oscars were like, oh, we're giving it to this documentary because the real guy is like, is he captive somewhere, missing, or like what was? Anyway,
yeah,
he's like a political prisoner at the very least.
Yeah, he's in like isolation in Russia.
And Russia sucks. But don't get me wrong. Like that's an agreeable perspective, but it was such a useless documentary. It didn't say anything. It was just so boring.
It's just about the statement. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
that's why that's why these award
all
shows.
All the other documentaries were better movies, right?
Yeah,
you'd be giving the award for it being a movie.
Yeah, everything all at once. You could say it's like they gave it to it for the message, but it's also a really entertaining movie. As well.
Yeah, it's accessible, but also
it's
weird
very
and
accessible.
Good performances.
Yeah.
Yeah.
On top of its diversity and those themes. Yeah, exactly.
It shouldn't be that obvious that they didn't watch any of the movies.
Yeah. In this category, though, shout out to Fire of Love. That's the only one I'd seen in
It was
this
awesome,
space. But that was
sick.
excellent, yeah.
I watched that. That was awesome. I really love that movie. Yeah.
I'm glad you
It was
enjoyed
great.
Yeah. Like, you're not going to see visuals like that outside. Like, it's such a hyper-specific, like seeing like lava underwater, like forming these crazy natural structures and stuff like this. Doesn't even look real. It's so impressive to me.
They get like right up to lava. It was crazy.
Yeah.
Like how close they got.
was...
I'm like, you're gonna die. Like, well, not the, but like it's like crazy. Like the danger they were in, and it was actually very informative too, which I wasn't expecting. It is like a nature documentary of sorts, mixed with a couple's drama. So, like, I learned a lot about volcanoes, like the difference between like red and gray volcanoes. I was like, that's really cool. Yeah, so love that movie.
Yeah.
Really, really good.
And the volcano guy who like shot all the footage for the documentary purpose, like he had a real eye. I don't know how much like tinkering they did like in editing to give it like a consistent kind of visual feel, but man, it was like some of the shots are like really impressive in that documentary. But short film, I guess. Doc short film, Elephant Whisperers.
Didn't watch any.
Haven't seen it, so. Film editing, then. Everything Everywhere winning again. It really did sweep the lot, but I'm happy for this win there.
Yeah.
It's kind of the one I wanted it to get, to be honest. Because I didn't
made
really
sense.
like the editing in that movie. Yeah. That's one where the Elvis win would have been more frustrating, I think.
Yeah, for sure. It was just that one guy editing it, or I'm sure he had a team helping him. But yeah, it was just like one guy went up there for the editing.
International feature was All Quiet on the Western
Why
Front.
even have the category if it's like one of them's nominated for Best Picture and like 8 other awards? Why even, like, we know which one's winning.
Right.
Otherwise you... like, why would it be nominated for so many others?
Why even bother? Mm-hmm.
The Quiet Girl was better.
Why even? Yeah.
Again, it's just not that interesting of a movie overall to me. It's like fine.
What'd you give it?
Totally serviceable. It's like a war movie. Kind of like a low 7.
A low 7. Okay. Because people were saying on the subreddit, like, oh, when Adam and Alex talk about it, Adam wasn't very strong on it. Alex seemed to really love it. It seems like we both think it was okay.
No, I didn't really love it. I just thought it was like fine. Like I enjoyed my time watching it as like an audio-visual nightmare war experience, but like it wasn't really saying anything from a new kind of angle for me or blowing my mind.
The 1930 version was a lot better, honestly.
Yeah, I'm more interested in checking that out, to be honest. Yeah,
I'm sure it was better. It's just, they love war movies. If it really happens, they just love it.
This newest version that won all these Oscars, it really felt like a war porn, like tragedy porn sort of film, and it was stuck in this weird.
So it could win awards.
This weird space between wanting to be this foreign art house film with like beautiful shots and scenery, while simultaneously with all of the like post-production elements, like the sound. Especially being like, oh, this is like a big epic movie, and especially like the score too, like, and like all of the sound effects feel like I'm in a video game where it's like, and like all of these weirdly modernized, like you can tell it's CG fire, you can tell it's CG blood, and like fuck, like all of the visceral nature of this real life event is just kind of being stripped away because this film is constantly reminding me that it's a movie. It's like, oh, this is a movie, but it's a big movie. It's like, fuck off. It's so annoying. It was just, it was fine. And there's elements that I liked about it. The acting was great. Again, cinematography was really great. And I don't think that the musical score was like terrible. It just didn't work with the film. It felt like it was working against it.
Yeah, no, I agree with you on that. The music was quite strange.
Yeah.
Like that weird like electronic thing they kept doing.
And then it won. And then it won for score.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There weren't like
Weird.
insanely strong scores this year. I thought that Babylon was probably the best one.
Yeah, I thought so too. Babylon didn't get anything though because it got like mixed reviews.
Yeah.
But that doesn't make sense to me either. Like, okay, it got mixed reviews. That doesn't mean it didn't have like the best score. Like, what? How does that like? That does not compute. I mean, like, yeah, it had the best soundtrack. That doesn't mean it's a great movie.
Giving score to All Quiet on the Western Front, that's so fucking weird to me.
Yeah, like just because like the greatest aspect of it, like, you know what I mean? Like the soundtrack's great. That doesn't mean the movie's like the best movie of the year, but you can at least give it best soundtrack. Mm-hmm. But like, it just doesn't make. There's no consistency. I mean, we keep saying that there's just no consistency to like anything they do. And so I don't take it that seriously. But
it keeps it interesting when you're trying to guess who's gonna win. Some of them are really predictable, and then others just wind up being kind of surprising.
Well, makeup and hairstyling's next, and The Whale took that one. Not too surprising.
Yeah. It was either that or Batman for me.
It's probably what my pick would be.
It's a good fat suit. Looks real.
Yeah, I'd give it that. Music, original score, as you just said, All Quiet on the Western Front. Strange. Personally, I'd probably choose that Sun Lux, Everything Everywhere score for me.
Same here.
But again, it's not like that strong of a category to me. Unlike musical original song, Natu Natu coming in, RRR Oscar winner. Yes.
Good for them.
I wonder if they thought about like the whole aspect of the song, including the dance. Considering that,
how could you even separate
the dance seemed like a big part of it, because they were showing clips of the dance. You know, the thing they were doing with their foot. Mm-hmm. I really like the speech. They do
like a little dance off.
Yeah, I like the speech those guys gave. That was very like.
I thought the dance choreography was better than the song.
Sure, they just wanted to give something to RRR. I think. An obligatory kind of. Here you go. Woo! That's fine.
Yeah, I was happy with that one. That was a win for my books. Best picture then. Everything Everywhere.
We did it.
They really did just sweep most categories here.
I actually really didn't expect them to like pick that, and I'm glad they did. I'm like relieved because I thought people were gonna be fucking pissed if they didn't. But people were like ecstatic that it won. I'm very glad it won. Yeah, it's a great movie. I think it deserves it. It's a very accessible, a lot of fun, and the Daniels, they were up there a lot. The producer, what did that guy say? He was like, people are not as important as profits or something like that. It was like clearly a flub.
I didn't hear that part.
Something like that. Oh, you didn't?
No.
Oh, that was funny. He was just like, just remember that profits are more important than people. I'm sure he meant to say the opposite.
That sounds funny.
Oh, yeah.
So, James Cameron didn't show up, and people were speculating it was because he didn't get nominated for Best Director, which is funny to me.
Oh, I'm taking it personally. Whatever.
I didn't even notice.
He didn't show up.
But his movie got an Oscar. He got Best CG.
Yeah, that was expected.
Maybe he didn't want to take like credit away from the artists. If you want to give him credit.
No, he was too busy being knee deep in Avatar 3.
Oh, yeah. That's
right.
That's probably what
he's spending a lot of time writing the exact same script again. He's really fine-tuning how exactly the same the next movie's going to be.
Yeah.
Well, production design was next, and another win for All Quiet on the Western Front.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, sure, if you're going to give it anything, I guess production's fair enough.
Sure.
I guess.
I don't know why it was nominated for so much.
Even then.
It's just so, like...
Is this a movie, like, people love or something? Because you get that kind of impression from...
It's a period war movie, so they're like, give it awards.
It's a 1917 or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Was it better? Because you guys have seen it, right? So was it better than 1917 or worse? Because I wasn't even huge on 1917 necessarily. I like the movie.
I feel fairly similar, to be honest. It's just like fine. It's just a solid, okay war movie that it does what it does, and then you don't really think about it again.
Yeah, war movies are hard to like stand out. Like I think of Dunkirk, that's a great one, or The Hurt Locker. Those are two like recent ones I think of. Like those really stood out to me. Those were great. Yeah, not so much like these 1917 or like. It's just like how many movies are gonna make? Is this World War II or one? Also,
it's World War One.
It's World War One. Oh yeah, because it's like trench warfare. But yeah, okay. So I guess it's like Still though, it's still like the same like Germans and whatever. It's like the same shit. Like
Yeah, it's less gimmicky than 1917, but
sure, without like the single camera gimmick, yeah. It does sound kind of video gamey. But I'll check it out. I want to see it.
It's just way too modernized.
Yeah, sure. I know people who loved it, thought it was great. So I'm like, sure, I'll totally check it out. There's just so much to see, you know? Yeah, and I got caught up in my 2021 list, like watching all those.
Not only is there so much to see, but remember that comment we got? Someone was like, oh, movies are longer now. I was like, 3-hour movies, that's not an out of the ordinary thing. But now I'm looking at it, it's like, there's only one movie nominated for Best Picture that was under 2 hours. Like,
yeah, was that The Whale?
It was Women Talking.
Oh, Women
and it
Talking.
seems,
okay.
It really does seem like films are just getting longer for no reason. And my theory is that it's because films are now being made with streaming services in mind. And the more content you have on streaming services, the longer it's going to take for someone to run out of content, the longer it's going to be that they're subscribed to the service, right? So that's why everything gets padded out into like a mini series, and everything just gets, everything's got to be like 3 hours now. And so,
I think you're partly right. I think it's more so like the length of things doesn't matter anymore because of streaming. So you could just make something as long as you want. Like you can make a 3-hour movie. Who fucking cares? Because you watch in pieces on like Netflix. Like The Irishman is like it's over 3 hours long, but it's on Netflix. You could just watch it in hour chunks like a show. Like it doesn't matter. That's why they did that. Like I mean, it's
crazy how fast it's changed.
Yeah,
like,
I don't mind.
I remember like when I saw like The Dark Knight when that came out, and it was like that felt like weird that it was such a long like superhero movie. But like I guess it's like short now compared to what like the latest Batman movie is like 3 hours easy. Like Avatar was 3 hours.
People binge like whole seasons of like a Netflix show. Like people watch like 10 hours of content at once. Sorry, but like sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. But like people watch 10 hours of content at once. They're like, they can handle like a 3-hour movie. You just got to release it. Or you got to make it. I think we know that now.
The Dark Knight never dragged on. But I watched the new Black Panther. And I'm like, this movie would be a lot more decent if they just didn't have random shit eating up the runtime out of nowhere. You know? There's some good stuff in that movie. There's some good stuff in there, but it's so unnecessarily long for no reason. Like absolutely no reason. And it just seems like that's the direction things are going now. Where they're like, we're past the point of deleted scenes. Now just every scene's in the movie. There is no, this doesn't work. You just keep it.
Does no one know how to edit anymore? No one have like a good editor? You gotta
fill up the time for the content machine so people stay subscribed to Disney Plus longer.
Yeah.
It's more content.
Yeah.
And long doesn't automatically mean bloated, because like everything all at once is long, and that movie was very tight. I felt
it's not that long.
Flowed well.
How long is it? 2 hour 19. It doesn't feel like it. It feels like it's like under 2 hours. You know,
it's right.
It feels like 90 minutes. Like it flows so well.
Yeah. Well, it's not obligatory, but some of these movies are a bit too long. I say that with so many fucking movies. I say it's too long. Too long. It's too long
at this point.
Just cut it down. Cut the movie down. It would be better. There's so much stuff in there that you could just like bloop.
There's so much shit we could get rid of from like just so many movies.
Yeah, you just cut it out. Like I could edit it. Like, all right, you don't need that. Bloop, cut it out. I wish I could fan edit every movie. That's what I do in my head.
Yeah. If the process was so streamlined, we could probably we might be like 10 years away from just getting Chat GPT to edit movies for us. Just like, can you fan edit, like cut out these scenes?
Yeah. Oh, that would be great.
Oh my god.
People use it for like TikTok montages. Or whatever.
Yeah, you'd be able to like AI put like different actors' faces in different movies, I want to see Man of Steel with Nicolas Cage as Superman,
Yeah.
And you'd just be able to do it.
We won't even get new movies. They're just going to mix old movies. I mean, that's what they do now anyway. I mean, so.
Okay, I'm going to skip over the short here and go straight to sound.
You're skipping over the animated shorts?
Short film animated and short film live action. Well, unless you got something strong you want to say about it.
I watched the animated ones. I do have something strong I want to say.
Okay.
I watched all the animated ones.
But not the live action ones.
No.
Okay.
Go for it.
So short film animated was The Boy, the Mole, the Fox, and the Horse was the winner.
Yeah,
there.
that was maybe the worst one. It was the second worst one for me.
Oh, really?
Well, it was like, so the entire fucking thing, it's like half an hour long, and it's just a bunch of random Hallmark quotes where they try to string in this moral lesson, but nothing happened in the scene beforehand. They would just like, every minute is just like, oh, it's not the size of who, it's a bit the size of your heart. And it's like, these quotes would be fine if they were after something that justified them being there, but it really just felt like they were just forced into the fucking movie, and it was just like so annoying after a while. Great music, great style, and I was pissed off that it won because My Year of Dicks was just absolutely incredible. Like, it's gonna make my list at the end of the year for sure. My Year of Dicks.
What's it called? My Year of Dicks?
Yeah.
My Year of Dicks. Yeah, I saw that on IMDb. But
You can watch it on Vimeo.
Oh, nice.
I would encourage you to check it out. It's like, it's so fucking good. And it deserved to win. It deserved to get that recognition, and just like the most bullshitty fight, the most manipulative one won.
Yeah. Okay.
It's just really annoying. Yeah.
Cool. That Horse and Fox movie, whatever. Just one note about it. I think why it won is because you got to hear Elizabeth Olsen say the title. That was funny.
Yeah. Idris Elba plays.
I think that's why they. Yeah. Oh, okay. But I think that's why they gave it to that, just to hear Elizabeth Olsen say the title, because it was a funny title.
Yeah.
She said like the Hound, the Fox, and whatever.
It would have been funnier to hear her say My Year of Dicks, actually.
That's true. Either would have been funny.
Yeah, that deserved it.
Yeah.
So yeah, we kind of already mentioned it, but Top Gun Maverick won for sound. Nothing too surprising about that.
Yeah,
Not
cool.
objectionable.
Good movie. Good movie. Deserves an Oscar.
Yeah. Visual effects. Anyone surprised that Avatar: The Way of Water won that one?
No, I pretty much
deserved
called that
it.
one. Yeah,
it did deserve
effects
it.
were amazing.
The only reason anybody saw the movie is the visual effects. The fucking, like, one of the highest grossing movie of like the past however many years.
It's like a theme park ride.
Yeah.
Yeah. That 3D you can like upcharge to.
Yeah.
Have you guys ever seen those? I think it's Corridor Digital that has this like series where it's like VFX artists react to like things. They did one the other week just on Avatar: The Way of the Water.
I watched
and had someone
that.
from like Weta come over. Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought that was really interesting.
Oh yeah. How like Spider was like mostly CG, like that actor wasn't really shirtless the whole movie.
Because that is something about that movie. The way it does blend the real and fake is like, I've never quite seen it that proficiently done before.
Yeah.
it's
Usually in a
pretty
movie,
seamless.
when you see a CGI person, like a CGI double, like when Spider-Man's swinging around, that's not actually Tobey Maguire, obviously. That's like a CG model. But it's like so fucking obvious in every movie. In King Kong even, and whatever. In this movie, it wasn't obvious. In Avatar, they just seemed like the CG models were so like lifelike and realistic. The way they moved and the way they interacted with the environment. Yeah, it was like pretty seamless. You don't really realize like how much
And
there
the way
is.
they've like modeled water, like it's actually incredible when they show the like the systems they built just to be able to accurately reflect like water, and how it like reflects off the skin and all these techniques you got to apply.
Can you send me that video?
Yeah, I'm not surprised. Sure, yeah, I'll find it.
Yeah,
It's really worth a watch. It was very interesting.
Oh yeah, makes you appreciate like the amount of work that goes into that. Because I bet it's hard.
Yeah, look.
Super impressive though.
Yeah, because there was like a debate over. There's a close up of one of the Na'vi like
Oh yeah,
pulling a strap.
I thought that was CG
and,
because
like,
we talked about that, and yeah, so it was.
So I thought it was
someone
real.
in paint. It's like a mix of both. It's the hands
exactly.
the hands are painted, and I guess like some of it's like real, but then there's like parts of it that are CG too. Like the water is CG.
But like, yeah, and all the like droplets are like painted on the skin, and yeah, it's just crazy.
Yeah.
Like, just watch that video. It's like a really interesting
yeah.
look at the effects. Yeah.
And I guess it looks so good because they rendered it in CG first, and then they had the the makeup artist paints the hands, how the light would react. Like, it's like crazy shit. Like when they describe it, you're like, wow, that is insane.
And like that shot in particular was just like, wasn't it just filmed in like a kiddie pool? Like they just got a little like, like it's so crazy like what they're able to achieve.
Yeah, that you can get it like a Dollar Tree. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's incredible.
So yeah, I'm not surprised that it won for visual effects. That it does deserve it.
As Adam said, like that kind of is the movie.
Yeah,
it's just the effects. That's why you see it.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah,
exactly.
that element is like insanely impressive. So yeah, good for them.
The final two then, this is the penultimate. Writing, adapted screenplay, women talking. Any strong feelings on that one?
I mean, it's cool that Sarah
seen
Polley got an Oscar. I mean, I don't know. I felt like if you're adapting the source material, there's ways that I would have preferred it would have been done, but I don't know. Just probably the structure just didn't connect with me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I haven't seen
it's just a few weird nominations in this category, like Top Gun Maverick and
that's a weird one.
On the Western Front. Like the writing of those two are not really the biggest strengths of either in my mind, but whatever.
Yeah.
Finally, is writing original screenplay, Everything Everywhere. It's just absolutely destroyed most categories, to be honest.
A lot of the big creative ones. Yeah, good for them again. It's just like crazy. Like,
so
what do you even say?
Showered in awards, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was not anticipating it to kind of sweep that way.
Good.
But I'm glad it has. Like,
yeah.
I mean,
good.
As far as a list is concerned, like it's all right. This year's one,
right,
compared to some of the previous we've talked about. Like, I'm not really mad about any of these, to be honest.
No, it wasn't bad at all.
I'm mad about a couple, but overall,
there's always upsets. But yeah, there's always upsets. The biggest was just Jamie Lee Curtis for me. I thought that was kind of a weird one. I like the movie, it's just her and All Quiet on the Western Front winning so much because I didn't even see that. I didn't think that was going to win as much as it did. Otherwise, I would have seen it before the awards. That was kind of I just didn't see that coming.
Kate deserved.
But I guess that's it. Kate Blanchett, yeah, that too. I thought Michelle Yeoh was good, but Kate Blanchett, she kind of made the movie. I wish Tar got more.
Crazy. I mean, the fact that Tar's nominated for 6 Oscars is like better than I would expect for a movie that I like that much. Most movies I like that much just aren't gonna get recognized at the Oscars.
Yeah, I would just say Tar's a better movie in like maybe just cinematography.
Yeah, cinematography, that would have been a lot better of a choice.
I would give cinematography to Tar. I'm not gonna like give my picks for every category, but for cinematography, definitely Tar or like Top Gun.
There's not a single thing that Tar was nominated for that it didn't deserve, in my opinion. But I wasn't expecting it. I was kind of expecting Kate Blanchett. That's about it.
Yeah, I thought she would get it at least, but I guess not.
She can get it
eventually. Oh,
she's gotten a couple.
Got it.
Yeah,
Blue Jasmine and what's the other one?
Oh yeah, that's right. She did.
She was excellent in that.
The Aviator.
Supporting. I guess. I never considered that. She already won, so that's like kind of a
twice.
If you've won already,
it's probably why she didn't win. If she was like a legacy, if she was a Jamie Lee Curtis, then she probably would have gotten it. Because
I think it's Michelle Yeoh's first win, so it makes more sense for her to win. Yeah. Again, that's like another thing. They like look at your history. Like, okay, you technically did give the best performance, but you won already, so we're gonna give it to this person.
Unless you're Meryl Streep, then you just keep winning.
Yeah, except unless you're Meryl Streep.
They're like, you haven't had enough Oscars.
She just somehow comes out with movies like on years where there's like not much, like at least for that category, I guess.
Holy shit.
I don't know how she predicts that.
5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. She's been nominated 21 times.
Yeah. That's what I mean.
Wow.
She must have some kind of system because you don't get nominated that much. I mean, I'm sure she's really good too.
She's great. I mean, she's a really great actress. Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Someone's got to do it.
Even if the movie she's in aren't like great. She usually gets nominated because just like her acting.
Yeah, she's really, really great.
She's in a lot of those like Oscar bait kind of movies, and she gets nominated.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, having a good agent.
There was not a lot of those. I would say of all of them, probably like Woman Talking is the most Oscar baity.
Really?
I'm not even saying that's an Oscar bait movie. That's probably a good movie. I haven't seen it. I'm talking about movies I haven't seen. I'm just saying that seems like the most Oscar baity. But like Top Gun, that's not an Oscar bait movie. Or like fucking maybe Elvis is a little, and All Quiet is, kind of.
Yeah, All Quiet is to me.
Yeah,
it's
sure.
quite an Oscar-y sort of
but a
movie.
lot of them were not that way. So I'm like, I was impressed by that. Everything Everywhere does not seem like a movie that like would win Best Picture. Like it's like it's got a scene where like a guy jumps on like a fucking dildo or whatever. It's like it's hilarious.
It's a butt
I'm glad
plug.
they had like, or it's a butt plug. I'm glad they had a sense of humor. Is my point.
Yeah.
That it wasn't like, that they gave it to this weird movie.
Mm-hmm.
So it's I'd say it's a good thing. It's a big win. It's a big win. That's why I enjoyed seeing that live. So, yeah.
I wasn't expecting the directors of Swiss Army Man to sweep the Oscars.
Yeah,
I don't
right?
think anyone did.
You guys who directed the Turn Down for What music video.
True.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Yeah.
That's great.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's great. It gives me more credibility, that's for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Emerson. Check
did
out
it.
my multiverse movie.
Ralph in the Multiverse.
That's right, Ralph in the Multiverse. Check it out.
Okay, so let's go into the recommended movie. It was my choice this time with the 1987 English film Withnail I, the cult classic, apparently, directed by Bruce Robinson, about two out-of-work actors who are kind of drug addicts bumming around London, got no money, just kind of troublemakers.
Mm-hmm.
It's just a little lens into their weird life and the black comedy that follows their escapades. Very much like something like Naked that we did in a previous episode, where it's just about some British guy just being quirky and having a bunch of idiosyncrasies and the kind of bumbling antics that come about from this environment and the characters. It's set in the 60s, so it's a little lens, period piece, and part of the kind of fuzzy grime that comes with when it was made is one of the more interesting things to me. Yeah, I thought it was like a fun black comedy with a couple of things that shows its age, but I'm still kind of torn where I stand on that side of it overall. But I did enjoy this. I had some good hearty laughs. I thought the performances were good. I like the lead too, Withnail being the kind of slightly crazier, wackier, that's the Richard E. Grant character, who's like an alcoholic and a very kind of eccentric, over the top, like actor type. So there's lots of like melodrama and I thought it was a solid, fun romp for the most part. What are your guys' like top level thoughts on Withnail and I?
This is probably definitely the first movie I saw with Richard E. Grant, or like the earliest movie with him, you know? Like
it's definitely the earliest thing I've seen. I think it's kind of shot his career off.
Yeah, great acting. Performances really stand out. Yeah, it's like got a very like loose nature to it. Yeah, it's mostly just about like the, not the plot, just like their antics. And yeah, it's like pretty funny. Made me laugh consistent amount. Like it was a pretty funny movie. Like maybe it got a couple laughs out of me. I guess we could go through examples, but yeah, what'd you think, Adam?
I enjoyed it. I thought it was very funny.
Yeah.
It's the type of movie where, like, by the end of it, I'm not left with, like, a huge, detailed, list of thoughts about, like...
Yeah.
It's somebody in my chat described it as, like, British Dumb and Dumber. It's kind of like that, but there's, like, a lot more, like, drug use. And I like that they're just, like,
that's one
high out of their mind. And just these characters that are constantly just drunk and getting kicked out, and everybody's like, "You're drunk," and they're like, "No, we're not." Like I like these interactions that they have with people. I love the they have a lot of kind of like pathetic attributes.
Oh yeah,
like
definitely.
when they were when they were, I guess, being confronted by that guy at the bar. He's like, "No, what if he's gonna?" I think he thought he was going to get sexually assaulted by him for like absolutely no reason because he read something on the.
That's right, because he's walking into the bathroom and he gets called something,
Ponce.
and then yeah, that's right, Ponce. And then he has that like little inner monologue when he's peeing at the urinal, like, about how he's like so scared and they got to get out there. Yeah, that's funny. There's a bunch of like good jokes at the expense of the two main characters. That's the best humor to me, is when the expense is, at them and their disgusting sink, and they live in this like vile flat, and there's like whole sequence dedicated to like they've got no mugs to drink coffee out of, so they're drinking coffee out of like a bowl with a spoon, which made me laugh. Just the kind of depravity and kind of nihilism these characters kind of sit in, and they're so like melodramatic and over the top, like driving around London and just like commenting on little things that are like getting under their skin, and like, oh, woe is me. Like, it's all like very flamboyant, over the top and silly.
Very eccentric and theatrical.
Yeah, they were very funny. Natural performances. The drug dealer character was very funny. Richard E. Grant thought he could get higher than him, but that the drug dealer character was like the ultimate. Like, he got the most high out of anybody. He had very funny lines. Do either of you have shoes? Like, as he was leaving, like not like, where can I put my shoes? Or like, he doesn't even have shoes. Yeah, it's very funny. I noticed in one scene they were playing music. It's like he's just walking down the street or something. It sounds like the Rocky theme. Did you guys notice that? It sounded like the Rocky theme.
I didn't notice.
Really? What point in the movie? What point in the movie?
It's like toward the middle. He's just like, it's just a scene of him walking down the street. I think it's Richard E. Grant. And it's just like the music. It's not like exactly it. It kind of sounds like they used it as like comparable or something. I'm not saying they did. I'm not accusing this movie. I was just saying it was like it was off-putting because I was watching it like, this sounds like the Rocky theme. Oh, that was kind of odd. Didn't know if that was intentionally funny or not, but aside from that, it's just like what we're saying. The solid, like, comedic performances. They were very like animated with their gestures and their expressions, and they're very funny characters. It's a very British movie too. Like all the accents, like when they go in that cafe there and excuse me, you need to leave right this moment. I will call the police. It's like a very fucking British scene. But like I like that about the movie. I like a movie that utilizes its setting well, and it did. It definitely had a character, the setting, and I thought it was a good movie.
I liked how it jumped from the city setting to the countryside rural thing too. We've covered films in the past that kind of deal with that kind of stuff with much more kind of more dramatic, serious intent, like a Tokyo Story or something like that. But I always like that as kind of like a theme or a way to draw humor out, like, in Hot Fuzz. That's kind of another example of that divide, where it's like a city guy going to the small town, and the humor you get from the locals, and the crazy trapper guy who's got like an eel in his trousers and all this kind of wacky stuff. But even in describing it, I feel like if someone who hadn't seen the film and heard the way we're talking about it, it might sound more like an over the top Dumb and Dumber type comedy, but it doesn't really read like that. It's kind of it's way more dry and kind of underplayed, and a lot of the humor is just from like the delivery / dialogue, just the way they describe things, like Richard E. Grant describing that drug dealer character as like just saying his mechanisms are gone, just weird little funny ways of like referring to things. And I like that line. There's a tea bag growing in the sink, and it's got lots of idiosyncrasies of the way I describe it. Like it's very quirky and extremely British. Yeah, and you get
Lots
a
of
good, well-rounded view of that.
Lots of good British actors in there, like Harry Potter's like stepdad or whatever from right, Richard Griffiths.
Yeah, Richard Griffiths.
Yeah, he was very funny in this, and yeah, super British character. Yeah, but that was great. I thought he was great in the movie. Yeah, a super good performance, and yeah, I don't know. It's like I don't have much more to say aside from yep. I thought it was funny. Loved the acting. You know, it's not much. Like, there's not much of a plot. You know,
it's very, not really.
No. It is more just like comedic
fine.
vignettes, kind of like just strung together.
Yeah. Depends. It fits the characters anyway, because it's the story about these two just kind of losers. Yeah, like what makes it like separated from Dumb and Dumber is like that Britishness and that like I don't know, that kind of class. It's weird to say class talking about these characters, but you know it's not so Americanized dumb humor. There is like that snarkiness, that cynicism, that darkness that is like kind of biting. It's like very British and like it's a part of British comedy, you know.
The dialogue,
it's part of its like identity.
Especially.
Yeah. And yeah, it's more like about that more so than like look how dumb they are. They do dumb things. It is kind of about that. They're more just like they're doing dumb things because they're drunk. It's not because they're dumb necessarily. It's because they're fucking like they're blazed. I mean, they seem like normal people. Like if they weren't like high out of their minds, but you know, like if you locked them in a room for a couple weeks, they'd be okay. But yeah, that's not how the Dumb and Dumber guys are. But yeah, it was just like an interesting comparison. Yeah, because I didn't really think of that. You know? Yeah.
I know it's already like a meme that like British people have like awful food, right?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Like,
beans on toast.
What did you think of the kind of stuff they're eating, like the Savoy sausage with the chips and stuff? You know, that bright pink sausage. The like chicken that they've got to like do. That's quite a funny scene where they've got to like kill a chicken and prepare it, and they like try and like squish it into a pot to boil it. So
that's just how it is there, huh?
It's to this day, man. It's exactly the same.
Every day, it's a struggle.
The vegetables didn't look too bad.
Savoy sausages and wet chips.
The vegetables, yeah. That's pretty much the only thing you can eat there.
Like potatoes and stuff.
I'm kidding, but yeah.
Do you guys eat much Savoy over there?
I don't even know what that is.
What's Savoy? Yeah.
It's fucking disgusting. It's like pig brain sausages. It's like bright pink. It's like red that's almost. Yeah, that's hardcore.
I could try it. It's not like regular sausages are made out of anything super appetizing, you know. It's all just like the expendable
but like you can get
parts.
like a nice like sausage, you know. Whereas I don't know if you can get a nice Savoy. I don't know. I don't know about that one.
Yeah, I don't know where to get
discount sausage. It's just like intentionally bad sausage.
Yeah, basically, it seems like something you'd feed like your dog, you know.
Yeah,
the Wikipedia page for it does not have the most appetizing looking picture. That's like one of the.
Now I have to look it up.
I'll send it to you.
Oh, okay.
Oh, you're looking at Savoy on Wikipedia.
I'm like, why would you choose that picture for it?
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, that makes it look even. It's rough.
Why is there a tongue depressor in the middle of it?
Yeah. Why is there like a popsicle stick?
Why did it get stabbed with a tongue depressor and it's on top of like fries and gravy?
Oh, that's a fork. That's like a fork you'd get in a chip shop.
What?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's just what they do. Yeah. They use tongue depressors as forks.
That's the most disgusting looking thing I've ever seen.
Yeah, I've never really been big on the whole chip shop thing, but man, people here are obsessed with that. Like just the like carby goo. Everything's beige.
That's funny.
You know, beige or pink.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it captured that pretty well.
Like, what's wrong with just a hot dog, or is like just a normal sausage? Like, what is that?
No, I'm with you on that. Like, yeah, it's disturbing. We're disturbed over here.
Yeah,
Clearly,
there's something wrong.
But that's kind of captured, like, I've always been drawn to, when I've seen this on IMDb, the poster for this movie, where it's kind of like the dartboard. It's got that, like, cool illustration on it. It's all, like, messy and all over the place, and that's kind of what the movie is, too.
Yeah.
But yeah, in kind of the best of ways, though, like, I wasn't really bored with it, despite that 1 hour 47 runtime. And there were points here and there where I guess it was kind of dragging a bit. It was more so going back to most of the humor I liked coming from kind of like being at the expense of the main characters. But there's this whole segment where there's this like ongoing joke with Withnail's like uncle, who's like this, he's a gay man. And there's this whole like, it like turns into him. How does he describe it? I noted it down exactly what he says to the Doctor Who guy, the Paul McGann. He says, "I mean to have you, even if it might be burglary." And he has him like cornered in this room, and it's like, who's the humor at the expense of right now? You know, like is this just like written to be funny just because it's like a
rape,
a gay guy, and it's the 60s, and it's like
Yeah.
This is, you know, like the homophobia of like, oh, don't tie your laces type thing.
Oh, yeah.
People would always say.
People are predators. So.
You know? Yeah, because there were a few gags like that throughout the movie. Like it opens on the main character looking at like a newspaper, and there's like some sex change joke in there and stuff like that. But I was reading some parts of it were like very loosely based on the director and writer Bruce Robinson's life. And one interesting thing about him is that he was in that recently controversial, well, it might have always been controversial, but it's been in discussions recently, this Romeo and Juliet movie from 68, how do you say his name? Franco Zeffirelli. But yeah, this controversial Romeo and Juliet movie from the 60s, he was in, where apparently the director was like pushy sexually, kind of like this character in this movie. So maybe that's what he more based on, or I don't know.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah, kind of taking that and trying to turn it into more of a comedic thing, but that wasn't particularly funny for me. But I suppose that's the black part of the black comedy.
Yeah, it's a black comedy. I mean, it's about drug addicts, drug use. It's not like a light, subject matter.
Yeah,
and like it is consistently funny to me enough to kind of warrant. Like I'd watch this again. Like I'd happily sit down and watch this.
Same.
It's not my favorite comedy, and I do like contrasting it to something like a Naked that we did back in the day. Got a bit more philosophical. It was a bit more of a drama. That's kind of more up my alley. But I do get why this is one of those kind of cult quotable British movies that, especially for the 80s, would have been probably quite unique.
Yeah, it did well in Britain and didn't really escape, is what my understanding is. Didn't really cross. Yeah,
because how could it really? Like, so much of it is just rooted in where it is and how they're talking. And
yeah, it's more so if you find that
the sociopolitics of what's going on,
right.
Like
charming.
When they're talking about signing on to the dole and signing on and all this, and that's a bit like a big thing, like in British culture, like back in the day more so, like like especially in like the 80s and the 70s. Like I remember my parents talking about it, like when they left school, like signing on just for like a few months so you can get your free money from the government, whatever. And they kind of talk about it because they're actors and they're like unemployed, so they're doing everything in their power to try and pay their way and trick people and go to my uncle's farm in the rurals through like lies that Withnail tells him. Yeah, they're kind of like bad people, like but that's also like the appeal.
Yeah, I mean they're like unlikable, basically protagonists.
Yeah, so it is that like balance of like,
and there's that too.
Laughing at them for being ridiculous.
It's not like Dumb and Dumber you can laugh at because they're like ignorant. It's like how like Borat, he's like ignorant. These guys are like they're just dicks. They're just kind of assholes. But there is something funny about that too. To me that's like British comedy. It's very like dry and very dark.
Dry and self-deprecating.
Yeah, for sure. Like even just like the look of this movie, I don't know, it could like makes me like uncomfortable, like in a way. It's just like it's very like dingy and dirty looking. Really great.
These like claustrophobic like rooms with like just shit everywhere, like dusty spiderweb encased pictures.
I think on our Reddit, someone pointed out like the production design. I'm like, yeah, that is something like I was looking at because of that comment, and I'm like, oh yeah, it's like very like dirty looking movie. I think that's
lots
intentional.
Of character in the production design.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's a huge part of it. Because like a lot of comedies you see, they don't put effort into those elements, and this one did. And yeah, like the Serial Mom we talked about before, that did as well. And I like when a comedy does that. It doesn't do things the easy way. It does things the more challenging route, and it's more creative. And yeah, this was like pretty creative how it was presented. I thought it looked good. So
yeah, and there is just some like funny, clever dialogue, especially. Whether it be like the hair here thing, where the trapper leaves the hair on the door, and that's like all they say. Just go in.
There's like a bunch of lines. I didn't write all of them down, but yeah, there's like really like a few points. I got like good laughs out of it. So yeah, and that's hard. That's fucking hard to get a laugh out of me for a movie. So, and when I'm like by myself, especially. So yeah, good on the movie. I mean, it is pretty funny.
We've got to leave in 30 minutes. 30 minutes? I need at least an hour for lunch. And it just cuts to him eating in the passenger seat as they're driving through like the storm. Just like completely unsafe conditions. He's drinking wine.
Yeah.
That was fun. There's a lot of smoking.
Oh, everyone's chain smoking, yeah. Yeah, it was giving me flashbacks to like growing up in the 90s and being in like pubs and having to be around like there was smoking areas by then, I think, but like it just bled into like everywhere, like you can escape it. Yeah. But that just helps with the mood too. It's just like the smoke filling every room. You can imagine the smell of like where they are. So it's kind of a nice texture to it.
Yeah, yeah.
All right. I mean, yeah, it's not like such a meaty film that there's a lot to talk about. So we can.
No, yeah, I don't know what like layers of subtext or anything there are going on here. It's more just.
I'm sure there is. I'm sure there's some subtext going on. It's my first viewing of it, so yeah, I would watch it again. Like you're saying, it's a little too long. Like I would have preferred something a little shorter. Like not by a lot. But yeah, it's like it's just because it has no plot too. It's like it feels like it goes on for a while. That's why it like pacing is important. But yeah, it's just not that kind of movie. Ultimately, it's like a series of vignettes with these characters, and if you find that funny, if you find like the dry British humor like funny, like because I find that kind of humor funny. It's just more like as an outsider, like appreciating like the culture and like the differences. But like it's not like I don't know. I just saw like I don't know what I'm saying. I don't know what I'm saying. I enjoyed the movie just fine. Do we want to give ratings?
7 out of 10.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd give it an 8.
Yeah, no, I'm right there with the 7 out of 10, probably a high 7.
Okay.
It's got enough like memorable moments, enough good jokes that like now that we're talking about and think about more, like the rubbing deep heat all over themselves to like stay warm and stuff like that. That's like funny and stupid and ridiculous.
Yeah.
Drinking lighter fluid and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it is a dumb kind of, not quite Dumb and Dumber level comedy, but I get the comparisons. Like that is a funny. It's kind of broken my brain a little bit thinking about it as the British version of that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I get it. It's charming. It's weird. I like those two main performances. Yeah, it was kind of cute and fun.
Yeah. Okay, I guess that's that. We did it.
Okay, let's move into some questions from the Sardonicast community. Head over to the suggestion thread on the subreddit and ask us any question you feel like for future episodes. Just like Mountain Peak 467 did, who says, since you guys talked about the Danny DeVito masterpiece, Death to Smoochie, I was wondering if you guys have watched It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. Yeah, don't know why I said it like that. And what your thoughts on the show are. I personally think this is one of the most consistently funny shows, especially for being 15 seasons long. Yeah, I don't think we ever mentioned Always Sunny on here, but I'm a big fan. I'm a few seasons behind now, but always enjoyed it.
Big
found
fan.
it consistent, and yeah,
It's very funny. Yeah.
I don't know if I've watched a full episode, but I've liked
Just
what I've
like
seen.
clips?
Really?
I know, right?
I've seen a couple.
Yeah, it's something I've been meaning to get into.
that surprises me with like all the comedy you like. Yeah,
Quite a few episodes.
Yeah.
Some good ones.
Yeah.
You could start with what is it, Mac and Charlie Die, I think it's called.
Spoilers.
That one. Well, that's the name of the episode. Charlie McDennis. That one's a good one. That's the name of the game. Charlie McDennis. God, there's so many good ones. The water park one. The gang goes to the water park. The gang finds a serial killer. God, there's just like so many. Yeah, there's so many great ones, you know?
Mm-hmm.
the gun episode's a good one.
Yeah, so many great moments. I'm the trash man. And then I start eating garbage. yeah, there's like
Wondering what is that on a streaming service or what? Or is it one of those things where I actually have
it
to
has- yeah, it
find
has
I
to.
watched it on
I think-
Netflix originally, but I'm in the UK, so it's all messed
I
up.
think it's on Hulu. I think it's on Hulu now.
Ew.
Ew.
gross.
Yeah.
Hulu's disgusting.
Yeah. I don't know what Hulu did, but I think they have.
I find it difficult to go to episodes from pre-Danny DeVito. Like, he does elevate it to me. His dynamic being there.
Yeah.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
that does elevate the show.
He comes
for
in, I
sure.
think, season 2, right?
Yeah, it's first seasons without him.
It's like season 2 or something. Yeah, it's early on.
It's just
there's a
the
bit of
other
time
characters.
before
It starts out way more normal. Like the characters are actually kind of like normal people at the beginning, and then they get fucking like nuts as like time goes on. They get more and more ridiculous. And just like the characters they meet along the way too. That fucking
there's
priest
some really
guy.
good recurring ones.
Yeah, like the priest guy who ends up becoming like a crackhead. Like he's like missing
Yeah,
half his
he's
face and like, he got burnt
Cricket
off.
or something.
Cricket,
Yeah,
yeah.
he's a
Like, yeah, that's funny. This kid, like characters they meet like that, like the waitress. Yeah, the girl was in the Tomorrow War. I forgot her name.
like, yeah, proper good satire. Like real satire.
Yeah, all the characters are dicks, but
Yeah.
they're funny.
And it has something to say. And what we were just saying, what I was just saying about Withnail and I, with like all the jokes being at the expense of the characters, that tends to be what it is. Like the main characters are all like assholes, and that's like what's funny.
Yeah.
Kind of like laughing at them and the silly, ridiculous antics they get up to.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Well, I found out that it's on Disney Plus. Looking season 1, episode 1. It's called "The Gang Gets Racist."
Oh yeah, I think it has a couple of episodes that have been taken away.
Oh, really?
Taken down.
Oh yeah,
shit.
yeah. On the one with
they do like a blackface episode,
The Lethal Weapon one.
It's actually a really funny episode.
Yeah, that
It's,
is
like,
a funny
making fun of the
episode.
whole concept.
Yeah, that's a shame.
So it's unfortunate it was taken away. But it's the same with Community. I think had a similar thing where like there's some gag like that was making fun of the concept.
Season 6, episode 9. Let's see if that's there. No, it's missing.
Yeah, check if it's there.
It's not on
Yeah.
Disney
Is it
Plus.
Lame.
Yeah.
Very
Is
lame.
it really on Disney? It's really on Disney Plus?
Yeah.
That's
Well,
fucking
at
bizarre.
least for me in Canada.
I guess
don't
it's
know if
Hulu.
it is everywhere.
Oh yeah, maybe because it's Canada. I think it's on Hulu for me. It's just Hulu.
Hulu's owned by
That's
Disney
bizarre.
anyway.
Yeah, exactly. That makes sense.
Just
yeah.
fucking make it one service. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah, you make me pay.
Why would it be 2 services?
Well, not you. They are.
Wait, so they're both owned by Disney, but it's 2 separate subscriptions.
Yeah.
Because I think
the hell?
Disney bought it at some point. Yeah, right. Just like fucking combine it.
So we don't have Hulu here. That's weird. That's bizarre.
There's like no good reason.
I think you can
for
get
it.
them packaged. Yeah, you can get them like packaged together, but still you're paying extra for something that, they own.
Yeah, they're assholes.
Yeah, how weird. Assholes. Okay. Is that
I'm looking forward to it.
the question?
All right, yeah. Whiskey Food asks this.
Oh.
How often do you buy new equipment for your work?
New equipment?
What's the last bit of equipment you bought?
All the fucking time. I'm constantly buying more equipment. Because I remember when you were over, Alex, we used like a different... We only had 3 of the KSM32 microphones, and then we had to borrow a microphone from my roommate, and it just didn't sound as good.
Yeah.
But they're so expensive, so then like finally for the Oscars stream, because we had 4 people, I caved and bought like another microphone. And then I just changed my desk.
Yeah, those add up
I
quick.
just did because in my Atlanta setup, I have a sit to stand desk, and then I was there for like 3 months, and then coming back to Vancouver, I'm like, I don't know if I can go back to just sitting. Like I've gotten healthier. Why would I, why would I reverse that lifestyle choice? So I had to change my desk here and get like the microphone arm and everything, and just a lot of fucking setup and assembly and just reorganizing shit. And
yeah, this stuff is expensive. I don't think people realize the equipment. Yeah,
adds up quick, especially if you got if you need more than one mic, So I think I got 4 of these guys lying around.
Yeah, I have 2. And you need like a certain kind of audio interface, for that as well. But over the course of this podcast, I think I've had like a few different microphones. I've probably spent hundreds of dollars on just microphones for this podcast and like interfaces and shit like that. Yeah,
I'm constantly buying new equipment,
but you need to stay updated.
There's always stuff to be able to upgrade, and just
then there's
make
shit
better.
that just works and you don't need to upgrade at all. Like my computer, my PC I built in college, I haven't had to update it at all. I think it works great.
Good.
I don't think it needs updating, so that's a good thing, because that shit's expensive. So it's just something. So if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
With my PC, I tried to like limit it to every like 5 years. I'll just like buy whatever the best stuff available is, and then I'll just use that until it starts to. They normally last years and years and years. As far as PCs.
This
concerned.
one, I'm trying to think how old it is. It's about, I don't know. Wait, sorry. Maybe 7 years old, 6, 7 years old. So it's about time for like an upgrade.
Nice,
soon. Maybe I'll wait closer to like a decade.
What do you do on the computer? Do you like edit on it?
I edit on it. Yeah, I made it for editing, but like it's such a good, like it's like all the stuff for it. It's like such a good computer for editing that I use it for games too. I didn't build it for that, but it's like, maybe I built it a little bit for that, like honestly, but it works great for editing and it works great for gaming. But maybe at some point it won't. Maybe at some point the things update so often. These apps, they update every year. It'll go out of date. I need to update my computer again. But I don't know. Right now it works great. So I haven't had to touch that at all. My camera I've been using for years. That's fine. It's not like some shitty camera. Like, that's the thing. If you like put an investment into something, like get something really good, you can use it for a long time. And it's better to do that than to get some shitty piece of equipment that you use for like, I don't know, a couple months and then fucking throw it out because it sucks. I've had, from my own experience, I know that, so I'm just warning people, if you need to spend more money, it's fine. Always get the better equipment. Always get like the better microphone, the better camera. Like I'd say that's good advice. Because it'll last you longer.
Future-proof it.
And it's hard to future-proof something, but you're getting more out of your investment there. I know it seems like you're getting more investment out of something cheaper, but if it's a piece of shit, then you're not.
Yeah.
Because you don't use it.
Yeah. If you got to replace it 4 times, then you might as well just go with a better thing to begin with.
Because I've gotten shitty keyboards, shitty laptop.
There's people in my life that always go for like the cheapest shit, and it always just breaks on them. And they always just get something that like they're unhappy with. It's like, well...
Yeah.
I don't know.
Especially these important things like keyboards and mouses. Like you need a good mouse. If you get a good... Like, again, my mouse I've been using for fucking probably 6 years. This mouse, I haven't had to change it. It's perfect. I mean, like, if you invest in something like good equipment, you don't need to change it.
Yeah, if you can afford it, get the quality version.
Absolutely. Yeah, don't get like the knockoff made in China shit. Yeah.
Do you use the sit-stand desk now then, Adam?
Yes.
The stand.
Oh, you use that?
Yeah, I got one of these. With the like mechanism where you press the button.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, those are...
There's a mechanism?
Yeah, it lifts your desk
like these buttons
up
underneath.
and down.
Oh, I see.
So you can sit sometimes
okay.
and stand sometimes. And it,
Yeah.
motor.
That's interesting. Yeah, I don't know. I've never done the whole like editing standing up thing.
It's
Never
just,
done it.
It's relieving to be able to sit and stand. Because sitting for way too long just fucks you up.
Yeah.
Like it's the new smoking.
Yeah, you got to protect your back, man.
Yeah, I usually just take a break and like go take a walk.
It's not even just protecting your back. It's like protecting your cardiovascular system.
Yeah, the blood in your legs and everything.
Yeah.
I was looking at those little, you can get those little like exercise bikes that you can put under your desk.
Mm-hmm.
Don't know if those are any good.
Oh.
Probably not.
Yeah, I guess you could do that. Go on an exercise bike while you could go on the treadmill.
Yeah, it's better. It's better
edit
to
a
just
video.
stand for a lot of the stuff I was doing. I did the whole Oscar stream standing.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh, really? Cool.
Like editing it
Yeah,
or
it's just about
during
fun.
the stream?
Just during the watch party.
Oh, okay. Well, I guess the live stream, there is no editing. Yeah. Yeah. All right. I guess that's that one.
All right. Lazy Bones Incorporated says this. Do you think that movie stars are no longer valuable? There have been several non-franchise films in recent memory, like Babylon and Amsterdam, with big-name actors that have bombed spectacularly at the box office, while franchise films continue to dominate the marketplace regardless of critical reception. I can't remember if I mentioned this on this podcast or not, but a few months back I did watch this. It was like an interview with Quentin Tarantino where he kind of touched on this subject.
Mm-hmm.
He was talking about this very thing, this idea of like movie stars kind of meaning less now, and people were like, they're more interested to show up to see Batman than they are like the movie star who's even playing them. Which I think is interesting. It does seem to be a bit of a trend going on, where it's like more about the franchise and the IP than like even the movie stars.
Yeah, well, that's what Anthony Mackie was saying too. Like a lot of these superhero roles, they see as Captain America, so they have a hard time like getting roles after, even though they're in such high profile stuff. It's hard to like get out of that stigma. And I think a lot of actors have that too when they play a big character. Like the guy who played Harry Potter, the guy who Daniel Radcliffe's doing fine.
Ronald Weasley.
Yeah, even him. They just have a hard time like getting out of their, that one role. Tobey Maguire, Spider-Man. They just have a hard time.
Didn't Channing Tatum have trouble after those G.I. Joe movies?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Exactly. It's hard to get yourself out of that.
George Costanza.
And in some ways, I think he's right. Some ways, movie stars are still like relevant. Obviously, we have Chris Pratt. He is a huge star. He's in tons of stuff. I see him in things all the time. So I'd say he's a movie star. And Tom Cruise. But yeah, it's more rare. I would agree with that. And it's different now too.
It does feel rare. It does feel rarer even.
Mm-hmm. It's super rare. And there are like these franchises too that just kind of dominate the market. But yeah, I feel like it's kind of a new thing too. These franchises, this like, at least like this like oversaturation of them. I feel like really in the past like 20 years, like after 2000 or so, like with like Lord of the Rings and Marvel and all that shit. Mm-hmm. Like that's when it started. Like for me, I guess you could go all the way back to like Star Wars in like the 70s, but like for me anyway, like it's just such a fluctuation of franchises like in the past 20 years. It's overtaken like the movie stars because it's so big. Like Marvel's so big, how can like one person like even compete? Mm-hmm. Like, are you seeing Ant-Man for Paul Rudd, or are you seeing Ant-Man for the character, or are you seeing it because
it's attached to the Marvel other characters?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not even quite sure anymore exactly. I'm sure it's a mix of like all three.
Who cares about Ant-Man?
Yeah, I mean, on the surface, yeah absolutely. If you told
because
me
it's in the MCU.
Yeah, if you told me 20 years ago like they're gonna make an Ant-Man movie, I'd be like, are you crazy? Like that's gonna be terrible.
Be a third Ant-Man movie.
Yeah,
gonna make a trilogy.
They made a trilogy out of them. Yeah, with Paul Rudd. And it's like, wow. But it's, it's that power of the franchise. It's being connected to something valuable. Yeah. And I think he's right. I think a lot of them are just seen as like Brie Larson. She's just like Captain Marvel. Like Hollywood doesn't like value her like as an actress at all, even though she's won an Oscar, which is crazy. But yeah, that's just like how it is. It's like they don't give a shit. Like it doesn't matter how much you prove yourself. They just like treat you like total shit, basically.
And I guess there's the whole kind of theme park aspect to it. Like as the decades have gone on and technology is kind of advanced, and certain excess / scale is like more and more expected from these big movies, so they just become big technology fests where it's just like explosions and like none of it's really real. So everyone's expectations are just like, I guess we're just going to see the new, basically fully animated Marvel movie, and the like slow, boring, talky movies like I guess fall to the wayside, and it's about something else. It's like becoming about other things, more vapid things, some might say.
Yeah, maybe it's always been this way to some extent.
It does seem like kind of a new trend.
Yeah, it changes.
So, yeah, because like when The Rock, like you couldn't save Black Adam,
Yeah, that's funny.
Right. That's what they were banking on with that.
And also, like, nobody wanted to see the character anyway.
Yeah, but no one wanted to see like the Eternals or what, like these fucking shitty characters they make. But they do it. They make it work, I guess, because it's connected to that franchise, that Marvel power that like DC just doesn't have. Like that brand just sucked. I wonder if there were people who didn't see the movie just because it said DC, like because they were like, "Oh, this is gonna be terrible," which is like the opposite of Marvel.
Well, you can see like not to spoil this and I won't say what it is, but the latest marketing for this newer Shazam movie that's coming out has this kind of like scrambling push in the latest like round of ads that is like featuring like a cameo character.
Oh no!
It seems to be like, please come and see this movie.
Oh,
I didn't see that.
Look who's in it. Yeah, no, I saw that kind of being shared, and I watched that. So
I know that they're doing that with
really
the Flash.
A good sign. Yeah, but that's kind of more expected with the whole like it's doing another multiverse crossover event.
Yeah, the multiverse thing.
Yeah, I don't know.
Starting the rewrites.
Yeah, just like, everyone wants to see superheroes.
We're redoing this universe. They kind of did that with X-Men at one point.
Yeah, that would be an interesting one.
Oh yeah, they rebooted it with like a new cast. They like went back and there was like an alternate timeline. Yeah, it got a little convoluted, but
and then it got even worse, didn't it? Like Dark Phoenix and
yeah. Oh,
worse than it ever been. Yeah.
Yikes.
Well, I suppose that kind of almost directly feeds into this one from Widow Brid, who asks, do you think art is suffering under capitalism? Making art with a profit incentive seems antithetical to freedom of expression and more in line with pandering and less variation in stories and styles. Of course, there's still a wide variety of amazing movies coming out across the world, but there would be more variety in a system less reliant on financial gain. What would a system like that even look like?
Yeah.
Well, like, yes and no. Like, everything affects making movies. But yeah, I think capitalism affects it negatively. Although, Top Gun Maverick, I feel like that's a movie that, like, I feel like a lot of movies wouldn't exist without capitalism, at this point.
I guess the technology to even make it will, created under capitalism. So
yeah. Like capitalism, it presents new challenges because you need money to make a movie. You don't have enough, so you need like studio money. But to that, you need to compromise, and it's like a whole other set of challenges. But that's just like real life, like that's just real. Like what is in my brain when I want to make a movie, I want to translate it to the screen. I want to put my vision on the screen. That's like almost impossible to get like exactly what's in your brain on the screen. So I'd say like that's an obstacle too. But like capitalism, it's like another, I guess, obstacle, just like another one that you gotta like overcome. Cause you need finances to make a film. That you just need a ridiculous amount of money to make a film, and you just can't get around that. And that's what sucks. That's what really, because if you have tons of money, you can do whatever the fuck you want. You can make like Avatar, but you need tons of money to do that. And that's like the trade-off, I guess. I don't know if you can make movies, you know, without the system we have right now, or, you know, this system, like with the capitalism ingrained into it so much. I don't think you can change it.
Yeah, it's kind of in the DNA.
Yeah,
almost.
it's in the DNA of movies now, you know? It's part of cinema history. Movies are made for a profit.
Yeah, I just don't know what the alternative is.
Yeah, I don't either, you know? Like, you need to pay people for their work. That's just the way things are now. And yeah, you need to make money to live. So, yeah, like, just that would compromise your art. Like, right there, you know? Like, oh, I need to make money. I need to make a certain kind of movie to appeal to people. Like, I like movies that appeal to people, but I also like movies that are, like, challenging, and we champion movies like that are challenging, that are, like, against the grain, that might not make a lot of money, but they're good movies, or they're interesting visions, but they don't make money, and so therefore they're not seen as like valuable or interesting.
Yeah, trying to actually envision what that system would look like without it, I find difficult to imagine.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but it's also like, I don't know, I don't feel like it's not dire to the point where there are just no good movies, you know? It's not like we are dying for new, good, creative, fun movies. Like, we just did the Oscar list where Everything Everywhere, like a scrappy, like a bunch of self-taught, like visual effects, like that just won, like the biggest award show for movies of the year. So it's not like you can't find these things, but I guess it more just affects, like, yeah, big Hollywood schlock stuff is just, you know, there's a trend of it getting less and less risky with less original properties because, yeah, these budgets are so insanely bloated and expensive. Like, as far as an investment's concerned, like, I guess it makes sense why they're as kind of scared and want the safest, easiest thing to market and package up nice and clean.
Yeah.
It's not even necessarily like just capitalism in of itself causing these issues. It's just that the people who have the money are the least talented. You know, like the artists aren't the ones making the financial decisions. Is like that's part of it. And you can say that that's like an inevitable byproduct of capitalism, and, you know, the way that systems are set up is that, you know, the people with the most money are going to be the ones that are detached from the art. You can make that argument, but I still feel like you could have things set up in a bit more sensible of a way and still have capitalism and still get rid of a lot of the issues that we have in terms of
exactly,
the lack of creativity and risk taking. And
great art doesn't always make like lots of money, and that's why like the greatest artists don't have tons of money to make the visions they want to make or the movies they want to make all of the time, and that's what's so frustrating. That's what's so frustrating about making movies. You know, it's like trying to find that balance. You do kind of have to compromise creatively because at the end of the day, you need these resources to like, and it is a job for so many people too. Like, they want to stay, you know, fed and employed.
Yeah, they're extremely resource intense projects, not with just like the sheer material you need. And if we're talking like 80s and you needed film or just all the technology, all the
props and
the props, but then the time as well.
People
the time
and their time.
cost and paying all the people, like hundreds and hundreds of people and teams, and it's the scale of it. Like it's just like a inevitability. Like, it requires so much resource. Yeah,
so many people on a set that like do nothing. Like they're like, you know, not do nothing, but they're like caterers or COVID PAs, shit like that. Shit that like has nothing to do with the actual production of a movie, that are nothing to do with holding a camera, but you need to pay these people anyway. That's just what I mean. It's so expensive because real life, just the cracks of real life just shine through. You need to compromise with just resources and time and these things. And like, it's about what you do with it. I think it's about what you do within the system that makes it special, makes your work special. Like, how do you take the rules and bend them to make something good, to make actual like art. And if you do that, I think it's a success. Yeah, and that's really all I could say about that.
Yeah, interesting to think about.
Yeah, it is.
Logical Professor 325 is this one for us. Do you guys have any hope for Indiana Jones 5? I'm excited as a fan, but I'm trying to keep expectations low. Keep up the great work. Always look forward to new episodes.
I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, so this is what the James Mangold Indiana Jones movie.
Yeah.
Which apparently has like a ballooned budget of like $300 million plus or something insane. Because of a mix of like, I think he was injured on set and they had to wait for a while.
Weird.
And it's like a bunch of like de-aging deepfake stuff, I think. Because obviously he's what, like 95 years old now? Yeah, I don't know. I just kind of want it to stop.
There's no reason why it should still keep going.
We've already been there.
Yeah,
we've already tried this and
it's not going to stop because it makes too much money.
Yeah, man.
I mean, yeah, it's Indiana Jones. I mean, it's not like. Do you think that movie's not going to do well? It's going to do gangbusters. It's going to do fucking great. It's going to make tons of money.
It's a recognizable property.
Yeah, so that's why they did it. And Harrison Ford is still around. Like he's still Indiana Jones. Like you want to see him. I'm fine with it.
He's still willing to do it.
Yeah, I think he likes doing Indiana Jones way more than he does Star Wars and being Han Solo.
Yeah, he does like that character.
He also just doesn't want anyone to replace him on that. He's like, if I stop, then someone else will do it. I'm Indiana Jones.
Oh yeah, well then they'll get Shia LaBeouf, like how they set up before. Mutt Williams. Yeah, Mutt Williams, everybody.
They teased it.
Just forget about that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. It's like, it's not moving the needle either way extreme for me. It's just like, okay, I guess we're getting a new Indiana Jones now because we have to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, I don't mind James Mangold. He looks quite like a few of his movies.
Yeah, I like the director.
I have no idea how it's going to turn out. It'll probably just be mid for me. I don't know. I can't imagine I would love it.
Yeah. I like Logan a lot. That was a great movie.
Yeah, I like Logan.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll see on that one. What do you think of this one then from Gregosaur the Critic? What's your favorite mythology when watching a movie or show? Would it be the weird, colorful Greek mythology? Would it be the gritty, bloody acts of Viking/Norse myth? The supernatural yokai from Japan?
Wow.
What would be perfect for watching?
They all sound cool. Does Lord of the Rings count? Or is that not?
That's less myth. That's more like a
bit
more contemporary fantasy from the last 100
years.
Yeah. I don't find myself gravitating to a lot of like, I don't know, pre-existing kind of like aesthetic-driven mythologies or whatever. I don't think so, anyway. Maybe I'm just not thinking of one. But
I'm a big fan of the Greek mythology,
Oh,
but more... Yeah, that was one I've always been drawn to as a kid, like reading all the kind of short stories and all the creatures and the Sisyphus and Aphrodite and all this. I like the pantheon of gods, like in the Greek myth. They're all like assholes.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's not about like making God like a figure, like a nice, like, what's the word I'm looking for? Like the ultimate example of good or whatever. It's more like, yeah, these are all just assholes in the sky, just toying with you, just being cruel. Yeah, I quite like that side of it. Yeah, and all the Norse stuff as well is cool. I like that in what was it called? The Northman.
Yeah.
Whenever it can be kind of trickled out, I've always been a fan of like myth because it's like the original stories, and the way it's like just stuck around and still inspires things to this day.
Yeah, it depends on how much the director is passionate about it, really, is like the biggest thing for me. So like Robert Eggers, obviously, you can tell that they're super into it, and so it just shines through the movie.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I'd say Norse mythology is cool, or I don't know, something like that. I don't have a strong preference either. Norse or like, the Greek gods are cool. I like that they're, all dickheads to each other. That's fun. like Clash of the Titans and that kind of stuff. Yeah, that stuff's cool.
Yeah, that's all Greek myth stuff.
Yeah, God of War,
Troy and
Troy.
God of War's Norse. Yeah,
God of War's Norse, and I think they dabble in both. Like,
the original God of War was Greek.
Yeah,
and then these like newer ones are Norse.
Yeah, that's interesting. Mm-hmm.
That is cool. Like jumping between them's a cool idea.
Yeah, that was cool.
We'll send on this one from Romowin. What do you feel about the criticism of films being cold? Kubrick, Nolan, and Villeneuve are often criticized for this. I don't know, it's kind of what I like about their movies, to be honest. That would be a pro to me, like a plus.
Yeah.
Cold doesn't necessarily mean bad. Like cold and detached is like can be a style that brings forward a certain like theme or tone or atmosphere.
Yeah. Makes it just unique.
I mean, yeah, a lot of my favorite movies and directors are ones that could be described that way for sure.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like
nice detached, cold style.
Yeah. Soderbergh too.
Mm-hmm.
Like maybe well, yeah, Nolan, yeah, Tenet feels kind of cold. Like with the characters, lack of like development. Yeah, I could definitely see that with him. As long as it's like intentional, you know? I'd prefer that to having kind of hammy, cheesy characters, which like I don't think everyone can write like characters that way and make it not corny. I think some people definitely can. You know, like Chris Nolan, like the best stuff with him isn't like character development, more so it's like the way the action and the story kind of guides the characters more so. And like the action, the spectacle, not like the development of like that sort of thing. It just depends on what the film is trying to do.
Yeah, because I can think of it as a positive or a negative. Like, I'd probably criticize a lot of like Snyder films for being cold and not in the good way. Like
that's like criticizing someone for like the medium that they tell their stories. That's like, oh, some people criticize these directors for doing animated films. It's like that. This doesn't really make sense as a criticism for, you know. Like, oh, these directors decide to portray their films in a certain way. It's like, yeah, it's a choice.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the thing with like a lot of like art criticism though, to be honest, is that you can like take an example, just flip it the inverse, and chances are you'll be able to apply it, or at least groups of people will be able to apply like either interpretation and still be correct.
Mm-hmm. I'm more impressed that movies like this get like released theatrically and are successful sometimes, like the Soderbergh, like Contagion, and I don't know, even Dunkirk, something like that. It is something colder, and yet the audiences like respond to it. I usually feel more cynical, where I always feel like a producer would come in and say like, you need to add, you know, the scene where he pulls out a picture and he has a family, or you know, some shit like that. So they have a brother, and yeah, I appreciate movies that don't do that, that don't feel like there's a producer like on the sidelines, like, you need to make it more relatable. Yeah, and Dunkirk's definitely a movie like that. So, yeah, it just depends though. Depends on what you're going for. I'd agree with what you said. Okay, I guess do we have more to add to that question?
I think that's it, to be honest. I think we've done it. We've done it, man.
I think we've done it.
All right.
Awesome.
I think it's my turn.
All right. I think so.
Recommend a movie?
I think so.
Yeah, it is your turn. Yep.
All right, let's do Dial M for Murder. Hitchcock.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Cool. Awesome.
I haven't seen it. I've seen a couple other Hitchcocks. My roommate Gael really likes this one, apparently, so we'll see what it's like.
Beautiful.
If you don't want to be spoiled, for Dial M for Murder, 1954, directed by Alfred Hitchcock. Watch it before the next episode comes out. These episodes come out every 2 weeks, but you can listen to them early by going to sardonicast.com, signing up for premium, only $2 a month, or go to patreon.com/sardonicast. Same deal. You can support the show, and we also got merch, link in the description. We also got a Sardonicast highlights channel, and I think that's everything. I'm gonna go to sleep.
All right.
Nice. It's time to eat my saveloy I've been saving.
Oh no. They look disgusting.
Have a good week, everyone.
Happy Shrek. Oscars happened. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Happy saveloy.
See ya.
Bye.
Bye.